One, two, one, two. I don't see myself. Now I do. Please forgive me for what you see in the back. And yes. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world that we live in today. Oh man. U.S. has joined forces with Israel, or what we know as Israel, and has hurled us into a world of but this is not something new, and I know a lot of you want to say, "Oh, President Trump," and that. Listen, this has been in the works for years and years and years. It's part of, and no, this is not some long drawn out conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy, but not a theory. This is actually happening. They actually conspired to get rid of Saddam, to get rid of Muammar, to get rid of the Ayatollah, to get rid of several Middle Eastern countries. And as things seem to be going, they're right on track. They're on target. But I didn't want to. It's important and it's relevant to the conversation. But I wanted to really talk about Sir Jeffrey Epstein. And I say it and I say it again all the time. And if you don't get anything from this, I want you to please remember this. America and the world abroad has a problem. It is not sexism. It is not racism. It is not classism. These, boys and girls, are only symptoms of a deadlier disease called hypocrisy. That's the problem in America and the problem in the world today. We all want to pretend that we live in this post-racial America, this post-racial world, where men are judged by the content of their character and not their color. And this could not be so far from the truth. I have friends from all walks of life. My ex-wife is an Asian. If we were a fly on the wall in the homes of those people that we consider to be friends, and we could hear, if we were privy to conversations that took place in these homes in private, what would we hear? I'd be willing to bet if you, so-called white, European American, that's what you are, because I don't subscribe to black and white. That is a caste system. If you were in your European American friend's home and you heard the conversations that take place, I'd be willing to bet that you would hear some things that are displeasing to you, that would be considered to be racist, bigoted, homophobic. I bet you, my European American friend, if we're privy to conversations that took place in your African American friends' home, your Latino American, your Asian American friends' homes, and just switch them around, we would all hear things that would be displeasing. I myself personally have friends from all walks of life, all ethnicities, I am not upset that my European American friend wants a young European American to bring his daughter or son home for marriage. What is wrong with that? Well, we should love everybody. True. Love has no color, no ethnicity, no race. However, I see nothing wrong with a man or a woman wanting to preserve their own. There's nothing wrong with that. And we have to stop trying to make people feel guilty for what is only natural. Again, it's not sexism, racism, nor class. It is hypocrisy. But back to our friend, Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. It's interesting, while we're on the subject of hypocrisy, and it's all relevant. I'm speaking to my people now. It amazes me that we continue to fall. You know what? What is it called when they say that a woman who's abused makes excuses for the abuser? What is that called? What do we call that? Let's see what that's called. I want to be right and exact. What is that called? When a victim makes excuses for their abuser, it is often referred to as blame shifting. That's not the term I was looking for. It's a particular term for it. It's a particular term for it. If you know the term, please type it down below. Please. Please type it down below. I don't know the name of the term, but it amazes me that we continue day after day, month after month, year after year to make excuses for those who take advantage of our kindness and, quite frankly, our ignorance. Now, this is not me saying that I agree. I don't agree fully with any man. No one is 100% correct in their dealing, in their thoughts, and their philosophy. No, there's no one walking this earth who is perfect. I'm not advocating for or against our current president. What I'm saying is this. We need to wake the fuck up real fast. There are a lot of people who claim to represent our best interest, who, if you watch very closely, you'll see, if you haven't seen by now that it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors, a bunch of fluff, then but let's just say, you, we'll, listen, they are more interested in removing him from office than capturing all of those who are responsible for innumerable evils committed against women and children. It's ridiculous that we don't see, remember what I said in the beginning, hypocrisy. They are hell-bent on removing him from office. Never mind the countless men and women who were trafficked and violated, and the countless heads of state, movie and music moguls, so-called royalty, so-called icons, CEOs from around the world who participated in this wickedness. Before we go any further, let me further say, I don't believe the man is dead. I do not believe for one moment that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. A man with that much power and that much influence. I don't believe it. And if you look at the circumstances of what they say took place, red flag should go up immediately. But then they'll throw little stuff out there like, well, he was doing all this stuff to blackmail all these heads of state and get information on it. Well, listen, possibly, maybe so. However, unaliving him still does not guarantee that this information will not reach the public. Hence, these hundreds of thousands of, did some say millions of pages of redacted documents that have come out. So again, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. A man with that much power, with that much connections, he's somewhere. And look how they played us. Because remember, this comes out at the height of the Me Too movement. And who did they leave holding the bag? Miss Maxwell. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You can. You can make a whole lot. I mean, there have been some fantastic writers and directors who've made some of the greatest films and greatest stories ever written and created. But this type of you can't make this up. I think that he's alive and well wherever he is. And this, what he was doing, what he was a part of, just continue. Let's say he's not. Let's say that was it for Mr. Epstein. This does not stop. Why? Because of the hypocrisy. Because we all know that those in power, those who make the movies that you like to go see, the newest action film, and who released that album with that song that you like, or who runs that tech company that just released that new gadget that you just gotta have, who run your city, your state. They're involved in this. You don't care. We don't care. Give me my new iPhone. Give me my 26, 27 model luxury vehicle. Give me my new restaurant with my triple double burger or my Wagyu steak. Just give me more to satisfy my urge to have more. Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. And then we'll walk around, oh, I volunteer, I help people, I give, I donate. Yeah, for tax write-offs. To be seen of men. Now, I have met people in my lifetime who I believe are the small few human beings who really sincerely care about their fellow man and woman. I met a few. There was a Catholic couple in Alderson, West Virginia, who took me, a young black Muslim with a child, in and fed us, drove over an hour away to pick us up, to help us out, even gave me a car. They didn't have to do any of that. But they saw a young man with a need, and they helped me. They didn't say, oh, he's a Muslim, we're Catholic. They didn't say, no. They said, here's a young man that's doing the best that he can. Let's help him. And I hope that wherever they are in this world, that all the goodness that life has to offer is awarded to them in this life. And if there is something to come after this, in that one too. The other person was a young woman, an MGT, a member of the Nation of Islam, who would work tirelessly to save the young men in her neighborhood, in a neighborhood where violence and drugs and all the things that we hate about living in the hood, in the ghettos of America, are present. Yet this fearless woman would not, she would not stop. She would not give up. She would exhaust all that she has to save one of them. And she was sincere in it because she had nothing. But the little that she had, she will give. Again, the problem in America is not sexism, classism. It is hypocrisy. We all want to walk around and pretend that we are in this post-racial America and that we aren't what we are in our hearts. But we have to understand this. There's a difference, and my father taught me this. There's a difference in doing good and being good, and we confuse that shit. So we look at someone who does these charitable things and think, oh, they're good. No, they're a fucking hypocrite just like the rest of them. Don't get me wrong. We can benefit from the good action, but that doesn't make them good people. Because their intention is not to answer a call or supply a need of the needy. It's their own personal interest and ego that's behind it. And this is all relevant to what we're seeing. These are all symptoms of that sickness. This going on with this whole circle of sickness that's going on with these, it's all symptoms of hypocrisy. Now, I don't believe this motherfucker's dead. Let's just keep it real. I don't believe he's dead, but let's just look at, because I was looking at a comedian earlier and he dropped a bombshell. So I had to look it up myself, right? And, because these hypocrites say, this is anti-Semitic, even though I'm a Semite. My phone's ringing, pardon, so see who that is. Even though I'm a Semite myself, my roots go to West Africa, Sierra Leone, Nigeria. I'm a Semite. I'm Semitic. If you look up the languages, see, that's another argument. I'm just saying that that's just another way to try to set up a barrier from being exposed for who you really fucking are. So this is not anti-Semitism. This is truth. But you know what I realized, and why it took me so long to get to this point, is because I realized that nobody wants to hear the truth. Because the truth will force you to face yourself. And a lot of us are afraid to face ourselves because we don't like what we see in the mirror. So we try to mask it with designer clothes and how much you make and all that shit. Man, listen. The realest shit I heard recently is I saw a video of a 91-year-old man, and he was talking about the things that you covet, and he summed it up so beautifully. Expensive garbage. That's all the fuck it is. Expensive garbage. If you leave here, we are so engulfed, and it's all relevant. We so engulfed in a bunch of nothing and acquiring things that you don't own, because when you leave, your money's gonna get split up between people. They're gonna fight over your shit. It's gonna get divided. A lot of your shit gonna go in the trash or be given away. And I've yet to see. I've been to some funerals, and I haven't seen Bank of America at any of them. I haven't seen Chase Manhattan or Visa, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, Nike, Balenciaga. I ain't seen them at nobody's funeral, unless that you were a member of the board of trustees or some official or corporate, unless you work for these companies in a position that benefited them, they're not showing up at your funeral. So just because you own these things don't make you no better than nobody else. But we feel that way because we don't like ourselves too much. And you think, oh, because I got this and I got that, I'm better than. That's just going, and it's going in the trash. It's going to be a yard sale. It's going to be given away. It's going to be when you go. So what the fuck do it mean? It don't mean don't get it. I like the flash just like you do, but I understand that shit don't make or break me. That's why every day I wear the same cheap ass jogging suit that I wear every day. I feel comfortable in it. I don't feel embarrassed about it. Why? Because I understand that it don't make or break me. I am who I am, whether I'm in this or if I'm in one of my tailored suits. I have $300, $400 lizards, crocodiles. You know where they are? In the storage unit. Because I got to a point where I understood that it don't really mean too much. Do I like it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I like I have jewelry and lots of jewelry and lots of. But I understand that, again, when it's all said and done, it's going to get split up, or people in my family going to fight about it, who get what, fall out about it, which is, it's just some things. And again, all of this is relevant because we're talking about what's really, really, really at the root of all of this sickness. And it manifests itself in different ways. Drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sexual perversion. Now, again, I'm not no anti-Semite. I'm not a person who hates so-called Jewish people. We're just talking about the facts. And I'm going to show you how these two tie together. Pardon self. So we're looking at our friend here, Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. Was born on January, pardon self, 20th, 1953 in Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. His parents, Pauline Paula Stolovsky and Seymour George Epstein were Jewish, married in 1952, shortly before his birth. Well, why is that relevant? It's relevant because remember earlier I spoke about seeing a comedian earlier, and this is what just made me just start doing this. He was telling some jokes, and in the jokes he said something about this article, right? And this is why this is relevant. He said something about this article. Let's get into it. Now, this is the Haaretz, which is the largest, most prestigious media news outlet in so-called Israel. This is Israel. Now, the name of the article is Tip of the Iceberg: How Foreign Sex Offenders Find Refuge in Israel. Let's read. While the Interior Ministry says Rabbi Baruch Lanner will not be allowed to make Aliyah, Advocates Group says about 100 rabbis, teachers, and other figures who have been accused, charged, and convicted of sexual abuse overseas have already found refuge in Israel. Now we're talking about that joke that was told. He told the story of how a man named Tim Alexandrovich, I think his name is Tom Alexandrovich, was arrested in Las Vegas. There it is. There it is. This is why it's relevant. And this is in Newsweek, right? Israeli official arrested in child sex sting will fight charge. Now, here is this is what this man does for a living. He's the head of Israel's cyber defense. I don't think you heard that. This man is the head of Israel's cyber defense. He's in Vegas for a conference. Guess what the conference is about? You can't make this shit up. While there, this dumbass, that's what he is. This motherfucker's dumb. A top Israeli government official arrested in an undercover child sex sting in Nevada intends to fight the charge despite having already left the U.S. That's why I showed that article, Tip of the Iceberg, from the Haaretz. He's not the only one. Now, tied to what I was saying earlier about the hypocrisy. We so bent on getting President Trump out of office. Yet, here is this top-ranking Israeli official who gets caught. Let's continue on. Hypocrisy. A top Israeli government official arrested in an undercover child sex sting in Nevada intends to fight the charge despite having already left the U.S. Well, where did he go? Back to Israel. So you telling me Sean Combs can be arrested by the federal government and charged for some bullshit, mind you. For some bullshit. And they seize all his passports so he can't leave and do all of that. But here, this top Israeli government official gets caught in Vegas trying to solicit sex from a 15-year-old who he thought to be a 15-year-old, but it was undercover cops. And he can get on the plane. He can he can make bail, get on the plane, and go back to Israel. This is what I'm saying about our people. We can't see that this all of we can't see. Let's continue. Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, a 38-year-old senior official for Israel's National Cyber Directorate, was arrested on August 6th as part of a multi-agency operation targeted alleged child sex predators. Police in Las Vegas announced details of the undercover sting on Friday. Alexandrovich and 7 other suspects face a felony charge of luring a child with a computer for sex. Las Vegas police said the Israeli officials will fight the allegation. His attorney confirmed. Our client is presumed to be innocent and intends to vigorously defend himself against the charge, Attorney David Z. Chesnoff wrote in an email to Newsweek. Mr. Alexandrovich intends to be in court whenever required by the court, but Puffy had to be held, right? Hypocrisy, man. Look at this. Look at this. Look at him. Look at him. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but man, look. What do he look like? Chesnoff also denied that his client, who has since returned to Israel, received preferential treatment after posting a $10,000 bail with no apparent conditions a day after his arrest and prior to appearing before a judge, according to court records cited the Las Vegas Review-Journal. But Puffy's so dangerous. Sean Combs is so dangerous that they had to seize all his, again, hypocrisy, man. He categorically received no special treatment as the bail set was standard, and a bond was posted consistent with normal judicial procedures. But Puffy was held for what he did with adults. Not a 15-year-old minor. This ain't the first time this motherfucker done this. We believe this is the first time that this motherfucker done this, and this is why, again, I'm talking to my people. When I see us make jokes and say things about our brother, I really just want to reach through the phone or the screen and choke the shit out of you. I don't condone what our brother is guilty of, nor am I advocating for his innocence. What I'm saying is, here's a man who tried to solicit a 15-year-old online that was given a $10,000 bill, allowed to hop on a plane and go to Israel. But yeah, our brother was ridiculed and demonized for an incident that took place years ago and for his private sexual life with other consenting adults. But he's the wicked demon. Never mind this guy. You think this is the first time that he's done this? Hypocrisy. He categorically received no special treatment as the bail set was standard and bond was posted, consistent with normal judicial procedures, Chesnoff told Newsweek. Mr. Alexandrovich, I don't care about his fucking name. He's a demon. Mr. Alexandrovich will meet all his court obligations consistent with the normal practices in the court of Clark County, Nevada. In other words, you got to get out of jail free card. The U.S. State Department officials acknowledged Monday that the Israeli citizen did not claim diplomatic immunity and had been released by a state judge pending a court date before he left the country. Any claims that the U.S. government intervened are false, State Department officials wrote on X. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson did not return immediately. Return inquiries seeking comment Wednesday, but he defended Alexandrovich's bail as standard during the interview Tuesday with the Review Journal. I'd love to see who these other persons were. One of them was a pastor, but who these people were and how they are being treated as a result of this, because this is some peanut butter and jelly bullshit. The standard bail for this charge was $10,000, so anybody upon being booked on that charge can post that bail and get released with no conditions. And that's what happened in this case. So you telling me that a man can sit and try to solicit sex with a minor online and be released with no conditions on a $10,000 bill? And 10% of $10,000 is what? So he paid $1,000, right? To get out? A law enforcement decoy who pretended to be a 15-year-old girl started talking to an individual with Alexandrovich's phone on the Pure dating application, as well as WhatsApp, on August 6, according to an arrest report obtained by the Review Journal. The conversation then turned sexual in nature, with the suspect allegedly agreeing to meet the undercover investigator and take her on a date to a Cirque du Soleil show. Whoop-de-f***ing-do, the arrest report shows. Alexandrovich later arrived in a ride share at an undisclosed location where the meeting was supposed to occur, police said. Alexandrovich, who said he had worked for the Israeli government for roughly 14 years, faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted. After waiving his Miranda rights, Alexandrovich told federal agents he thought he was speaking to an 18-year-old woman as he attended a 6-day Black Hat USA 2025 cybersecurity conference at the Mandalay Bay that ended on August 5th, Las Vegas, police said. Alexandrovich stated he felt the girl pushed him to talk about bringing a condom, yet could not remember how many times the girl pushed him, according to the report. So you tell me that this bullshit. Las Vegas police said Friday that the 8 arrests had occurred within the past 2 weeks. We would like to remind parents to discuss with their children the dangers of engaging with strangers online. Police said in a statement, parents are encouraged to routinely monitor their children's activity on social media and other online applications to prevent them from becoming victims of child sex predators. Of a child sex predator. This operation was conducted as part of ongoing efforts to reduce violent crime and protect children in our community. The top federal prosecutor in Nevada, Sigal Chattah, confirmed in a statement Monday that Wilson's office will handle the 8 cases. Oh my God. If we really see again, it's all relevant. I'm not rambling. Everything I said previously connects. Hypocrisy. Police said in a statement, parents are encouraged to routinely monitor their children's activity on social media and other online applications to prevent them from becoming victims of a child sex predator. Yet this man was allowed to just leave the country. Post this little $1,000 bail. No stipulations, no stay away from children, no online activity, no, none of that. Just post your bail. Here's your court date. Back to Israel you go. Which goes back to where we were earlier. Just the tip of the iceberg. And if we understand, for those who don't understand what that means, typically what you see out of the water is the tip of the iceberg. And sometimes they may be massive, and some may be, in various sizes. But the thing about it is, what you don't see underneath the water is most often 10, 20, 100 times larger than what you see above the water. So saying that this is the tip of the iceberg means this is out of control. We don't have a clue. But we do have a clue. But we don't have a clue. What are you talking about? You think Epstein is the only one? That's the only one that we know about. But you think he was the only one? And we think about it, we don't even understand the type of that Epstein was into. We don't even have a clue of the type of that Epstein was into. And again, it goes back to this hypocrisy of those in power in front of us, and them, just again, when they do what they do and they say what they say about it, I really don't pay it too much mind. I listen and pay attention because I know that it's truth mixed with falsehood. So I just eat the fish and spit out the bones. I try to stay away from all the smoke and mirrors and get down to the heart, to the core facts of what's going on. And I understand that the fight going on between them is deeper than what's being presented to us. But I understand, most of all, that neither side has our interests at heart. And I'm talking to my people at this point. Neither side. You can call yourself Republican, Democrat, whatever. Neither side has your interest at heart. And their internal fight between each other has nothing to do with you, but has everything to do with you. And if you know, you know. That's another subject for another time. However, it would be wise to keep your nose out of their fucking business, because we have bigger fish to fry. Again, that's another subject for another time. And I hope you'll return, because we got a lot of shit to talk about. Mr. Epstein, and a lot of the information that I'm about to speak on, share, I will put the sources down below, and you can go and check them for yourself. But one being the U.S. Department of Justice and they have an Epstein library. So, my father told us this, that his father taught him, that we cannot understand, we can't, pardon, he said we cannot fathom the depths of Satan, and we can't. These files say, because we don't read, and I'm talking to them, well, no, I'm talking to us all, because a lot of us don't read. We let them put their propaganda in front of us, and it's all truth mixed with falsehood. You put a little truth, a little falsehood, and put it before you, and then we just, it's a beautiful book. I think we're going to talk about this book. It's called, the book is called, I just want to get it right. I know it's called The Crowd. I just want to get the author right. I just want to get the author right. The Crowd. That's it. One of the best investments that you will ever make in your life is this book. It's called The Crowd by Gustave Le Bon. And this, when you read this book, you will look at everything you see and hear a lot different. I advise, I implore you, I short of demand that you get this book. I promise you, you will not be disappointed, because it's such an important read, especially today. Especially today. Let's go back here. So these files tell us that there were 6 mentions of cannibalism. One email from a redacted sender sparked online rumors. It references a restaurant called Cannibal and repeatedly mentions jerky, which is a code word. And what it's a code word for, we don't know. But it's a restaurant called Cannibal, which some claim is a code word. We just said that. One of the files implies that Epstein and his associates may have been involved in some sort of ritualistic sacrifice. The file in question revolves around an alleged interview between FBI officials and an anonymous man in 2019. The man claimed that he witnessed acts of sacrifice on board a yacht belonging to Epstein back in 2000. Numerous emails show Epstein asking women of different ages to send explicit photos and videos. Many appear nervous or distressed, trying to explain their fears. And it made me think about, I heard someone speak about this thing called adrenochromes. I think that's what it's called. Adrenochromes. What is that? Adrenochrome. I know. Adrenochromes. Adrenaline. Okay. Adrenochromes. Let's see what that is. Because I heard the term before. Adrenochrome is a chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, epinephrine. It was the subject of limited research from the 1950s through to the 1970s as a potential cause of schizophrenia. But how they were speaking about it was in regards to, and this is relative to what they were saying about this restaurant called Cannibal. How they were saying that these elites and these rich are not just trafficking people and these children for sexual gratification and ritual sacrifice. They actually are after this adrenochrome, which is, they actually do things to make their bodies produce the adrenochrome. Then they consume their blood, and it's this adrenochrome is in. I don't know, but I mean, it's not far fetched. Not far fetched. We've seen movies like Hostel, and I mean, it's not far fetched. What I'm saying. Okay. In one 2015 email, a woman tells him, Epstein, she's still a virgin and knows nothing about sex, and Epstein ignores her and simply orders her to send an explicit selfie. Epstein's obsession went far beyond emails. Epstein installed numerous hidden cameras around his various properties. Epstein asked one of his private pilots, Larry Vyssotsky, to buy a number of motion-detected hidden cameras. Vyssotsky later confirmed that he had purchased the cameras from a spy shop in Florida, adding, "It's amazing how small they are, the size of a thumbnail drive." Vyssotsky also wrote that he had already begun installing the cameras inside Kleenex boxes. Epstein may have used the hidden cameras to capture compromising videos of high-profile figures. Around the same time he was installing them, he received an email saying, and this is Vyssotsky, received an email from Epstein saying, "Remember what we spoke about. If you want to put cameras in the house, it will have to be very discreetly done." So this must have been the email from Vyssotsky to Epstein, rather. Because he's saying, remember what we spoke about. If you want to put cameras in the house, it will have to be discreetly done. And if he asked him to purchase the stuff, this would, in fact, be Vyssotsky saying this to Epstein about being discreet about installing them. The Russians may come in handy. Many believe Epstein was secretly filming guests and possibly sending the footage to Russian intelligence to blackmail politicians, business, blah, 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 which is a complete bunch of bullshit, because he had dignitaries and royalty and politicians and from all over the world, and movie stars and all. He had people from all walks of life, the ruling classes of places you never heard of, and all. He had all these people there. Although we've never heard President Vladimir Putin's name in any of it. I'm pretty sure that some officials from Russia or somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe they had enough sense to not participate in any of that. And you know what? That wouldn't surprise me. And this is why I say it wouldn't surprise me, is because we know that, or we can look back and see that a lot of European countries had a hand in our our demise, and I'm speaking of so-called black people or African Americans or Africans in America and throughout the diaspora, right? But one that I don't hear a lot, I'm not saying that they were, I've yet to hear it. I'm pretty sure that, there's always exceptions to the rule, but I haven't. And I'll go a step further. I saw a video, not a video, well, it was a video, but a film. I think it was during the Jim Crow era, or maybe before, or maybe after, but it was Russian, and it was about what was really happening with us. It was more so, and especially during that time when you had a lot of propaganda and stuff that demeaned us and belittled us. This thing was actually shedding positive light on us and talking about our plight in a positive manner, being that it was a negative situation. What I'm saying is, the film was Russian, and it was something that was uplifting. I'm gonna find out the name. I know the name of it because I saved it, and I'm gonna make it my business to, if I remember, to put it in this so that you can see this thing. And I said all that to say that Russia, from what I understand, was not one of those who had a hand, who participated in the destruction of the so-called black man and woman in America. But back to this demon. A so-called Oscar guru joked about giving Epstein a baby from Africa. Look at how that just flowed right in there. Peggy Siegel, a Hollywood insider known for arranging exclusive screenings and promoting Oscar contenders, was in constant contact with Epstein for years. In one 2009 email exchange, while she was visiting Kenya, Siegel offers to bring a little boy back for you. This is what she's saying to Epstein. I'm going to bring a little boy back for you, or two. And then she asks, boys or girls? So, pardon himself. Siegel offers to bring a little baby back for you, or two. And then she asks, boys or girls? And yet no one in Hollywood publicly questioned that exchange. And this is, again, goes to what I'm saying earlier, this fucking hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. Oh, look, you want to get... Now, I'm not saying that anybody's name on that list shouldn't be in question. But it's not mean. It does not mean, pardon self, because their name is on his list, that they are guilty of anything. Let's make that understood. How many times have we seen or heard stories about some fucking psychopath who people have been living next door to for 20, 30 years and never knew, all they knew is, they never knew, he came to all the church functions, he bought us, what's this called? He brought us a fruitcake for Christmas every year. He went sledding with the kids and camping, and he was involved in this and PTA meetings. And the motherfucker had 20 bodies cut up in his basement. And you don't know. You never know. You look like the cleanest or the sweetest lady in the world. Don't know. At all the PTA meetings, she been serving you human burgers and shit. Like, you don't know. Just like the opposite of that is true as well. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people who visited or been in his presence who've never participated in any of this stuff that he's guilty of. Probably be a slim chance, but I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule, right? So I'm pretty sure that there's some people who visited or who've been in his presence or who's did some business with him who have never ever participated in any PDF activities, any sacrifices, or never been to the restaurant Cannibal. I was looking in these notes and it was talking about one person. We'll get to it eventually, but it's talking about one person who went to the island with his wife, his children, and the nannies. Now, granted, they could have some off out the way place where they can take the nanny can take the children and they can never ever see that side of the island where all the madness takes place. But you got to be really a sick motherfucker to take your family and your children to an island where you participating in some cannibalism or some PDF activity or some sacrifices. You got to be sick in your fucking head. And I don't believe, hey, possibly, but I don't believe that a man would take his entire family to an island and participate in these things. Or maybe he did it as a cover-up. Because most people would think that who would be that sick and fucking twisted to do something like that and bring their family along. So I mean, I just don't think so. But back to Miss Siegel, and I'm pretty sure she's probably still making moves in Hollywood. And okay, Epstein claimed to have direct ties to countless world leaders. We know this to be a fact. In emails with businessmen, friends, and associates, he boasted about his powerful network across media, tech, and politics. Again, these was all we gonna get the president, man. It's hypocrisy. Get them all. You know what these motherfuckers know what's up. So they playing. When I speak, they playing games, man. They're playing games. If you're not gonna go all the way with it, that's hypocrisy. And you don't want to go all the way with it because you know that underneath all of that, man, the house of cards is gonna fall because there's some people that they really don't, and and for those who are saying, oh, Trump is trying to block it because he don't want information. You don't hear these names. As a matter of fact, the files say that they used to laugh and make fun of Trump. So I really don't think that is what you think it is. That it will reveal. Because according to these files, they all thought that Trump was a fucking idiot. That he was stupid. So, I don't think that he was in the circle like we think he was in the circle. You know what I'm saying? It's just an observation. The former Prime Minister of Israel, he was saying Epstein claimed to have direct ties to countless world leaders in emails with businessmen, friends, and associates about who he posted. He had a powerful network across media, tech, and politics. In a 2018 exchange with former White House strategist Steve Bannon, Epstein even said, "There are many leaders of countries we can organize for you to have one-on-ones with." So do you really want? I don't think so. Hypocrisy. Because let's say you do find something and you're able to be successful at having President Trump removed. Then what? The rest of these sons of bitches get to continue on in their pervertedness? again, it points to what I said earlier: hypocrisy. You don't want to get him because of transgressions. You want to get him for your own political reasons, for your own power grab, not for some wrongdoing. Hypocrites, man. Hypocrisy. The former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, described Epstein as a collector of people. There are various emails involving Barak arranging dinner dates, meetings, and calls with Epstein. The tip of the iceberg. Remember the tip of the iceberg. Remember the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister. There are various emails involving Barak arranging dinner dates, meetings, and calls with Epstein. For the disgraced financier's 63rd birthday, Barak and his wife wrote him a letter highlighting his curiosity and ability to know everything about everyone. I'm pretty sure he had damn footage of everybody and everybody visiting his. And from what I understand, the man rose to power very quickly. But how? Because there's always they say like this in the Quran. They say about Satan, about Iblis, is the whisperer. I didn't have any power over you. All I did was whisper. Say on the day of judgment, he gonna say, everybody's gonna be saying, oh, Satan, the devil made me do it. And he gonna say, oh, whoa, I had no power over you. All I did was suggest. All I did was whisper. You acted on it, and he's the whisperer, man. He's the whisperer. Oscar-winning director Woody Allen, who we already know what Woody do. His name appears 7,000 times in files, but Woody Allen's films are still garnered his hypocrisy. In 2012, in a 2012 email, Epstein is asked where he is. Now get this shit, right? And he replies, Paris with Woody Allen. The redacted correspondent then asked if they're headed to, listen to this, Les Pedophile Convention. Does Les mean the, right? I would believe the pedophile convention. While Allen faces no allegations of wrongdoing, emails show he had close ties to Epstein. It wouldn't surprise me, including the financier helping Allen's daughter get into college. Oh, dig this. Even New Age guru Deepak Chopra. That's what I'm saying, man. The hypocrisy. Deepak Chopra appears in the Epstein files thousands of times. Records show he met Epstein repeatedly, attended intimate dinners at his New York home, even invited him on a 2017 trip to Israel. You don't say. Asking him to bring girls. Chopra has denied any wrongdoing and wrote a statement online expressing regret for his poor judgment. Like I said, all this smoke and mirrors is a play. All of this is a play. And they know that everybody that's in front of you ain't just in front of you, but they are placed in front of you. But if we look behind them and really see, come on, Deepak's, come on, man. Okay. Chopra has denied any wrongdoing and wrote a statement online expressing regret for his poor judgment. Ain't he some self-help guru? Celebrity longevity guru Peter Attia also corresponded with Epstein. Their emails reveal explicit sexual discussions and a close relationship, with Attia admitting he goes into withdrawal if he doesn't see Epstein for a long time. I bet you do. I bet you do. You sick son of a bitch. In a 2015 exchange, Attia, who has since apologized, said the biggest problem with becoming friends with you, he's talking to Epstein, the biggest problem with becoming friends with you is the life you lead is so outrageous, yet I can't tell a soul. Yet I can't tell a soul. But Puffy is this big, dangerous demon. But Deepak and all these celebrities who deal with him just get thrown free. And our brother had to sit in the jail. But we know what that was about. We know about him suing the alcohol company about the tequila. Y'all just had to make an example out of our brother. But hopefully one day we'll wake up, and that's what you counting on, that we stay asleep in our slumber. But hopefully one day we'll wake up. I hope we wake the fuck up real soon, because this is just getting wickeder and wickeder. And unfortunately, we're taking on their characteristics, their life, their ways. And it's not good. Epstein had numerous high-profile connections in the Middle East. One of his most famous contacts was Sultan Ahmed bin Sulaim, an Emirati businessman and the CEO of multinational logistics company DP World. In 2013 email exchange, bin Sulaim, that guy tells Epstein that the Maldivian is not as attractive as the picture, while going on to add that the Ukrainian is very beautiful. He just means with all this money and prestige, but they got a sickness. Hypocrisy. See? All the sexual perversion and all these things, again, like I said, are symptoms of their goddamn hypocrisy. The staff at his Florida mansion had to follow rules which were listed in his household manual. The air conditioning in the main bedroom was always supposed to be set at 60 degrees Fahrenheit at all times. And you know what just dawned on me? He did that. I'll save it. There were also specific rules regarding the provision and placement of sex toys. Epstein's mansion manual even specified that guns be kept in bedside drawers in the master bedroom. It also laid out strict rules for how staff should act, speak, and behave around guests. The manual tells staff to see nothing, hear nothing, and say nothing. These motherfuckers is sick. And we'll come out of our mouth and say, well, Epstein is... No, all of these people that participated in this is sick. Yet they allowed to roam freely and live their lives. Yet our brother is still in prison. And we got jokes about baby oil. Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, is among many officials who spoke with Epstein and visited his private, that's who I was talking about earlier, and visited his private island with his whole family, including the nannies. Again, I give Mr. Lutnick the benefit of the doubt. Because like I said, everybody who shook hands and shared a meal or visited, his island. Um, didn't participate in a lot of this stuff. You know, Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary under President Bill Clinton. Bill Trill motherfucking Clinton. Did you see him doing this government hearing and questioning on the Epstein file, which is a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of smoke and mirrors. They could care less about that shit. But he didn't seem stressed at all about any of that shit. And as a matter of fact, he was enjoying looking at some of them pictures because he could remember, oh, shit, I remember that. I bet you that shit was running through his head because he was smiling, looking at the pictures like, oh, shit, I remember this day. Oh, boy, that was a motherfucking party. Also features in the files the Treasury Secretary under former President Bill Clinton. Records show he attended several meetings and dinners with Epstein over the years. Steve Tisch, the co-owner of the New York Giants football team, that in emails he asked Epstein about a woman he met at Epstein's house, wondering if she was a pro or a civilian. In other messages, Epstein, you motherfuckers ain't gonna stop going to no goddamn New York Giants games. Hypocrisy. In other messages, Epstein claims to have a present for Tish, a supposedly exotic Tahitian woman he plans to introduce him to. Epstein even tried to contact the Queen of England. The Queen of England. Ahead of the 2011 Academy Awards, several of Epstein's associates reportedly tried to get Queen Elizabeth II to endorse Harvey Weinstein's film, The King's Speech. Buckingham Palace resisted, and the Queen didn't get involved. The movie went on to win multiple awards, including Best Picture and shit happened to Weinstein, and they had enough sense not to open that door. But some people in that house did enter in that door. Let's see. In 2009, the former Duchess of York called Epstein the brother I always wished for after Epstein's initial conviction for sexual abuse. In emails, Sarah Ferguson, ex-wife of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, asked Epstein for £20,000 to cover rent after her business collapse. She also called him a legend and adds, "I am at your service. Just marry me." The hypocrisy. Europe's political elite were tangled in this too. No shit. Europe's political elite, Asia's political elite, America's political elite. I haven't heard anything about any Africans yet. And I am not saying nothing happened, but I hadn't heard anything about any Africans. Some niggas was there, I'm sure. But I didn't hear anything about any of the African politicians but Africa is Africa. They have the most diverse, let's say Africa is Africa. If you understand, there's no need for me to explain. Another Epstein's European associate was Miroslav Laj, the former Slovakian foreign affairs minister. Him. In an October 2018 exchange, Epstein sent him a redacted image in which he replied, "Why don't you invite me for these games? I would take the me girl." Epstein responded, "Who wouldn't? You can have them both. I'm not possessive. And they're sisters." He's some sick motherfuckers, man. I mean, and it just goes on. He talks about Epstein traveled with a harem, and they talk about his connections to British billionaire Richard Branson, and I mean, the files go on and on and on and on and on. The point to this whole thing is, again, like I said in the beginning, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy. So when these people stand up and they talk about, going after our president, it's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy because these politicians will say that, especially the Democrats, and how they stand, for what's right and what's true. But yet, here this man, Tom Alexandrovich, a senior Israeli cybersecurity official. I mean, this is what he do, computers. This is what he do. He's over. He's charged with making sure that things like this don't take place over the internet. Comes to America and during the conference gets on the fucking internet and tries to fucking solicit a child, and then is allowed to get out on a $10,000 bail, which you gotta only pay 10% of, without any stipulations put in place, and allowed to get on a fucking plane and go back to Israel. So the problem is the hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. And until this is corrected, as a matter of fact, I would say that there's nothing worse than a fucking hypocrite. There's nothing worse than a hypocrite. Obviously. You would allow this man to get back on a plane and go back to Israel. Yet hold our brother, ridicule him, and then you have motherfuckers like 50 Cent will put out propaganda and stuff to try to destroy his brother. But he don't know no better, because he's fucking ignorant. He's brilliant in regards to business and music, and his talent. He's very talented. But he's fucking ignorant to the fact that what he's doing really, really hurts himself as well. He's ignorant to the fact that he is an agent of his own destruction, because he doesn't understand this simple fact. And I end with this: no one man can rise above the condition of his people. My father taught us that. No one man can rise above the condition of his people. And we need to understand that. America's problem, again, is not in the world's problem. Well, as an American, our problem is not racism, sexism, or classism. Our problem is hypocrisy. Until next time, AFW Podcast. Make sure you tap in, subscribe, follow me on IG at PerrierJ_MFTH. Follow the YouTube IG at Cell Therapy. That's CELLTHERXPY. Salute.